So, James, tell me about this project of yours. It sounds like it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's called Brain Games on the Road, and it is a new traveling iteration of the super popular Brain Games franchise that has been on National Geographic in several forms. And the idea really is to bring the show to the people, quite literally. We put a stage on the back of a flatbed truck and drove it around and had people play a bunch of fun brain games that are hopefully going to teach us something about our brain, but for the most part, it's just fun.
And how did you get involved in it, in the franchise for Brain Games?
I worked with Magical Elves, who produces the series, we did a studio version of the show 2 years ago now, that Keegan Michael Key hosted. That was really fun, and Magical Elves came up with this spinoff to take it to the people, because that version was all celebrity based, and in a studio in front of a studio audience, and was very different, but super fun too. And we wanted, I think the sort of whole point of the show is to bring it to a more mass audience, because we've all got brains. So it's nice for us all to know a little bit about how they work.
Nice, nice. Yeah, just trying to say mine might not be as big as yours, but it's still in there somewhere.
It's not the size of the brain, it's how you use it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And what would you say was the biggest challenge about creating this series?
I think putting the show together, I think that the main challenge really was getting enough fun games for, because you want to show fun things, but you also have to have a scientific point. It's not just fun. So that was kind of a challenge to walk that balance, where usually as a game show producer, my main criteria is it fun? Or in the case of other shows that are, does the question make sense or whatever? This we had to find, is it fun? Does it also have something to do with our brain that is interesting and illuminating in some way? And some of it, one of my favorite parts of this show is just the idea of these things that we have no idea that our brains are doing automatically. And I think it's really kind of interesting. And not only the things our brains are doing, but the things our brains can't do, which I think is interesting too.
Now, what would you say was the most interesting thing you learned during the show?
Wow, that's a good question. There's a couple of really interesting things that I thought were really fun. And one is and let me just look at my little thing here. There's a game we did called Upside Down Frowns, and it's in the premiere tomorrow night. And it's based on this thing that was originally done with Margaret Thatcher's picture, believe it or not, called the Thatcher effect. And the idea is, if you manipulate an image of a face and you mess with the mouth and you mess with the eyes and make them look weird, and then turn the image upside down, it will look normal.
Really? How does that work? I've never heard about that before.
And I'm not going to even try to explain the neuroscience, but the general idea is, because your brain is going, oh, it's a face, so I know the eyes look like this, the mouth looks like this, that makes sense, and it's someone I kind of recognize, so your brain just kind of fills it all in. And what's so fun about that particular game is we have these big, like 4-foot pinwheels on stage with presidents' faces. Yeah, the first one's presidents. We do it a couple times. And so you have, Richard Nixon's face upside down. And literally the question to the two players is it weird or not? And then we get to turn the picture the right way up physically. And it happens right before your eyes, because your brain is looking at this upside down image going, that's a completely normal picture. That's a completely normal picture. That is weird looking. And it's like those great, close-up magicians that make magic happen in your actual hands. This is what that's like, but it's your brain doing it. And I just thought that was so cool.
That is incredible. I cannot wait to see how that works. And it's just incredible how your brain works. I'm trying to picture this in my mind while still trying to figure out how it all works. And I'm just like, I have to actually see it in order to believe it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what's so fun about it is one of my big things is creatively with this iteration of the show was to have everything where possible be tactile. So,
Okay, okay.
instead of cutting to a monitor with these images on, I wanted them printed out. So there's no way we could manipulate it so that it proves to you your brain is the one doing this, and that I thought was really effective because I still gasp when I see it. So check that out. It's about four minutes into the first show.
Okay, okay. And without getting out too much else away, what else can we expect to see? What other kind of brain games can we expect to see?
It's interesting because there's a whole bunch of fun different types of games. They're all um, teams of 4 going head to head, and there's a lot. One of the things we really pushed for in executing the show was play along, so that the viewer at home really gets to play. One of the hallmarks of the original Brain Games was something that I don't know if we coined this phrase or if it preceded us, but it was called a direct to viewer. And that was part of the language of the original show was they would literally stop the show and say, hey, look at this. Do you see these two things? Do they look the same? Well, actually they're different or whatever. And it was about optical illusions and different things, but it was directly to the viewer. And we've kept that as a legacy through the whole franchise. So we have a bunch of those in every episode, and they're very, very interesting. These, again, it's things your brain's doing. There's one where we have all these ovals. It's just little ovals on screen, and it's because it's over a striped background. The ovals look like they're doing that, but you take away the background and they're completely still. But your brain, again, because it has trouble with the stripes processing, it assumes it's in motion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen those ones before.
Yeah, so it's a lot of that stuff where it's just a really fun way to play with your brain.
Yeah. You know what it kind of reminds me of now that you're describing it this way? Do you remember those books that we had in grade school where they would just show the optical illusions and be like, the teacher would hold it up and be like, what does this look like to you? And
Yeah,
you would have to try to
yeah,
figure out if there was like a number 8 in there somewhere. You
yeah,
remember those?
yeah. And also like the what were they called? The Magic Eye, where it would do the
That
3D.
was it. That was it. Yes.
Those were cool too. I have no idea how that works.
No, I have no idea either, but I definitely remembered. I was trying to remember it. I'm like, there's another game where I remember when I was a kid that
Yeah.
many moons ago, back in the 80s and 90s.
I'm a 70s myself, but that's
Nice. And what else are you working on these days? Do you have any other fun projects on the horizon?
I am currently about to start something that I am not allowed to talk about, but it's exciting. And we're really just, I'm really looking forward to Brain Games coming on the air because we really put a lot of effort into it. And so I think the most exciting thing coming up for me is the premiere tomorrow. And I think I was told they're running 4 shows every Friday night.
Nice.
So it's sort of like a mini binge once a week for Fridays.
I
So
like it. I like
yeah,
it.
and it's very bingeable. It's very fun because they're all different enough, but it's also not, I think it's important to sort of mention it's not super schooly, it doesn't feel like eating your vegetables. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. Nice. So it's like having your after school snack rather than eating your vegetables.
Yeah, totally a Lunchable at this point.
Okay, I like that. A Lunchable. I like that comparison. Nice. And one thing I like asking people I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Ooh, okay. Now fun's subjective. I'll give you one. No, that's not that fun. That's just kind of a weird medical thing. Yeah, that makes you think. Let's see. I was born in England.
Okay. What part of England?
Surrey, which is the same county that technically like is it's next to London. But I was, I think, 12 and a half miles south of London
Okay, very nice. Very nice.
when I was 11, to Connecticut. So from England to New England. And I don't know if this is fun or not, but I'm going to tell you anyway. When my family landed in Connecticut, it was April 25th, 1981. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm that old. But all over this little town in Connecticut are these historical markers. And it was a coastal town, and there's a historical marker somewhere in the town that says the British landed here on this date, April 25th, 17, and it was the same exact date that us, the British people, invaded this town.
That's incredible.
So
Nice.
weird. So,
I like that. That I think is one of my favorite fun facts that I ever heard.
well, then I'm happy to deliver.
Nice. And it's funny you mentioned Connecticut because when I lived in New York, I lived on a New York Connecticut border. So I was always going to the Danbury Mall. I don't know where in Connecticut you lived, but I was always in Danbury and all that.
I was very close to Danbury. So you were in Westchester?
I was in Putnam.
Putnam. Oh, okay. So yeah, I was in Westport and then and Fairfield County. So right there.
Very nice. Very nice. My sister's actually in Portchester now in New York, Westchester County. So
All right there.
nice.
I miss that part of the world. It's a very
Me
pretty
too.
part.
Oh, I miss it too. I miss Stu Leonard's more than anything else.
It is
You
amazing.
know.
Yeah, that was it. It was originated in the town next door to me.
Yes.
Yeah, I still somewhere have some Stu Leonard's bags.
Yeah. My sister gave my mom one last time she visited. So I was like, oh, okay, very nice.
It's one of those things, if you know, you know.
Exactly. And what are you watching on TV these days, other than Brain Games that comes out tomorrow, of course?
Right. I am starting to become obsessed with everything that's on all the streaming channels at once. I'm watching Disney Plus, I'm watching Netflix, I'm watching Hulu. And there isn't any one thing. I'm borderline obsessed with the Great Pottery Throwdown.
Nice.
And with Blown Away, the glass blowing show, and with Nailed It, also produced by Magical Elves, I might add. And it's I think we're in a golden age of television right now. I really do. I think there is so much great stuff that I literally can't tell you one thing I'm watching because I'm watching it all.
Yeah, there's so many good things, and it's just like not enough time to watch it. And I watch TV for a living, more or less. I'm like, how would I watch all the things?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I hear about a new streaming service, I'm both elated and filled with panic.
Same, because I'm like, okay, how am I going to pay for all this? I got all this, but it'll get done. I will one day watch all the things.
Exactly. One day it's like coming to the end of the internet. Eventually, it's got to happen.
It's got to happen. Yeah. And where can we follow you on social media so we could hear about Brain Games, this exciting super secret project that you have?
I'm not really on social in that way, to be honest.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm a Luddite, but I'm just more, I just never got into it. So that's probably, so I would say follow the National Geographic social channels.
That's what we'll do. James, it has been a pleasure. I can't wait to talk to you again about your next project, and good luck. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure talking to you.
Likewise. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.